They don't exist in the slightest. Let's start with the story of the asylum in Western Michigan. The Allegheny County Historical Society has looked through their records and found out that the asylum was never there in the first place. Instead of an asylum, it was, as previously stated, a prison. There is a potential answer for the Michigan version of the Melonheads, though. According to a former student of the seminary school at Felt Mansion, they were called the Melonheads, simply because they were smart, brainy, and came for money. What about the Ohio ones? They don't exist either. Research into the infamous Dr. Crow revealed he died shortly after World War II, which is when the government hired him to experiment in the legend, so he couldn't have performed experiments on the Melonheads at all. But what about Connecticut? Sorry to say, but they don't exist either. The asylum that burned down, according to historical records, never even existed in the first place. The family being exiled for witchcraft isn't even close to being true either. Little history fact for you folks. Back in the day of people being accused of witchcraft, they weren't exiled. They were just straight burned. But do the Melonheads exist somewhere else? They actually could. There's a group of isolated people living in the Appalachian Mountains. The group that was in those mountains, they were known as the Melungeons. Supposedly, their name just got shortened to the Melonheads for some unknown reason. It's very reasonable to assume that similar isolated groups could live in other locations close to the legends of the three states. So maybe they are just deformed children. However, even that couldn't be the case. Hydrocephalus wouldn't allow these children to live without any form of medical treatment. 50% of people being affected by hydrocephalus will die by the age of 3. 80% of the rest of those poor bastards will die before they become an adult. Hydrocephalus cannot be the disease making these kids' heads fucking massive. Any other medical conditions that cause a giant head require intensive medical care to survive. The true reason these Melonheads don't exist is because there's nobody around to try and treat these children. Melonheads cannot exist scientifically.